this evening joining us. First, Ms. LaToya Hopkins from Good Reasons and Community-Based Services. We met over the weekend, and it's good to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
And we have Cynthia Marsh-Croll from the WEDC, who will be our presenter this evening. So thank you so much. I have some housekeeping I would like to share with everyone. First and foremost, membership renewals. We're still getting back renewals, but I'd like to thank every one of you. I believe every single one of you in here, I've got your renewal back, or we're in discussion, so thank you very much. I want to remind anybody who has a Brewster High School senior that our scholarship applications are due back April 1st. They're starting to trickle in now, so that's good. So I look forward to receiving more because there's enough for a few. We have two member announcements. Judy Callahan from Putnam Cap wasn't able to join us this evening, but she asked that I mention they do have a job position, a job opening available. They're looking for a part-time bilingual receptionist for a few days a week, and I'll be posting that, and I'll have more information about that and in our newsletter, as well as you can call the office if you know anybody. And she also wanted to let everyone know that on Saturday, May 22nd, they're holding a Farm to Table, a Ride to Combat Poverty fundraiser. And this sounds really cool. It's a good way to skirt any issues with COVID. Participants will travel around the county in their own vehicles, visiting sites of interest, following a prescribed route and directions for certain activities. And the day will conclude with an outdoor dinner at Space on Ryder Farm. More details will be released shortly, as well as they are looking for sponsorship right now. So if anyone's interested in that. Sounds like fun. Sounds like a neat idea. I'd like to remind everybody of our upcoming free webinar on Tuesday, March 31st at 6 p.m. The webinar is a must attend for employers of pretty much any size of business, any industry, and who are looking for any positions, really all levels of job positions. Matina Drew of Noble Hearts HR Consulting will be presenting how to attract, onboard, and retain quality employees. And during the time of COVID, there are a lot of special factors. We've heard from many of our members who are having trouble either attracting or retaining their employees. She'll talk about some important onboarding, a lot of unrest with employees, worried whether they'll keep their jobs, etc., how to deal with that, as well as having a pipeline of employees. And finally, we have one special announcement. This is just for us right now. It hasn't officially been released, but it will. But I am allowed to say Brewster Chamber of Commerce will be partnering with the office of the Assemblyman Kevin Byrne, the assembly member of our 94th district. That goes from about Yorktown through Mahopac, Southern Carmel, and all the way through to Brewster and up to Patterson, to run a Best in Business 2021 competition. So we will be doing our part at the Brewster Chamber of Commerce to help our members to make sure that they get the votes they deserve. So we hope to represent in this district-wide competition. So more information on that will be coming soon, and I think voting will be opening up in April sometime, pretty much early April, I think is what they're planning for. And without further ado then, I would like to introduce you to Cynthia Marsh-Croll of the WEDC. Cynthia will be talking to you about some of the important offerings they have in the Mid-Hudson office. And without further ado, Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and I'm sorry I look like a ghost. The window is behind me.
No worries, you look great.
Along with the lights. So, you know, I thank you for the makeup mirror idea, because I am going to do that. I am tired of looking like a specter on one of the, you know, commercials on TV. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with everyone. Let me go over here and do this. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. For coming tonight. It's really, this is going to be really important for all of us getting together and being able to build our networks in spite of COVID. All right. So tonight I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are and who I am, and how we're helping businesses and how we might be able to help you. And since we're doing a networking event, I'm also going to give a few networking tips that you can take with you and not only use tonight, but use in the future. So my name's Cynthia Marsh-Croll. I'm the program director for the Mid-Hudson for the Women's Enterprise Development Center. So we empower entrepreneurs to be able to start, strengthen, and succeed. So both our locations, we have our main location in White Plains, and then I have an office in Poughkeepsie. I cover from Sullivan to Putnam counties, and then our White Plains office also covers Putnam, proximity, right? A lot of you are closer to up by me. And then also Rockland and Westchester. So we are partially funded by the SBA as a women's business center, both our locations, and also partially funded by Empire State Development. So we're entrepreneurial assistance centers as well, and some other, small funding through IDAs and economic development offices and foundations. So we're really about empowering the entrepreneur. So we help you start, strengthen, and succeed. So how do we do that? We do that through free one-on-one business counseling, low cost and no cost workshops and webinars. Right now, everything's online, so we don't have anything in person. We help with access to funding and have a partnership with Bach that provides microloans. And we work with getting you loan packaging, minority women business enterprise certification through New York State, which is a biggie, and also our flagship 60-hour program where you develop a roadmap for success. We have early stage businesses that take that, people that are looking to start businesses, and we have had quite a few existing businesses that have had major industry disruptions and are having to pivot. A lot of our workshops for the last year have really been COVID related. We have been doing a lot of focus on COVID funding. A lot of focus on COVID funding and making sure that our clients are here this year, right? So we really have been working very, very diligently with helping everyone with any kind of, PPP loan and loan packaging and helping with that, the EIDL loans, the EIDL grants, New York Forward Loan, giving counseling, and a lot of workshops in reference to those types of things, and then adjusting to the new way of doing business. I can tell you that if this had been quick, and it was a couple of months, it would have been like put the needle on the record, and we would have all been in a very different place doing business. But because this has lasted so long, it has really made permanent impacts on businesses, how they do business, what they need to do to stay relevant. We have quite a few customers that have lost customer bases, had to shift customer bases. Really look at who's my target market now, how am I reaching them now, and really letting customers know that you care about their safety and how you can help them get through this. We had a lot about engagement, connecting with your customers. It is an absolute necessity now. And, we always talked about what was the shift in doing business. It wasn't just about keeping your promises. It's now, I provide a quality service at a good price. It's not just about that anymore. We were shifting to really talking about engagement and making people feel like a VIP. It's even more important now. People feel so isolated and so alone and lost. Those companies that make their customers feel connected not alone and that they're there to support them and help them is making a difference. So if you haven't been looking at how you can engage your customers and where are they hanging out and how can you do that and engage with them, I would suggest that you take a look at that and see how you can help your customers really manage getting through this and being a solution to a problem. A have to have, not a like to have. So these are some of the things that I was talking about that we help with. The other thing I want to mention, if you know any businesses in the Hispanic community, we have a whole robust program in Spanish. We have a 60-hour program that is run by both our locations, along with robust programming. And I can tell you, this was a big change that we saw with our client base. If you work with customers in the Latino community, they tended to be low tech. Well, I have to say, I am beyond impressed. Our Latino Spanish speaking clients have gotten on the technology bandwagon. We had to move all our Spanish programming, this is like unheard of, over to remote. What's awesome about that is that it gave our Spanish clients a competitive equalizer. Being that they were so removed from technology, there was a lot of things that were missing from them being able to be competitive. So it really has helped them, grow in that area. And it is a growing market. So if you are thinking about getting into marketing to that market, they are now using more technology, but I can tell you everything's on the phone. Everything's on the phone. They do everything on the phone. All right. So that was just some nuggets of things that I've noticed. Like I said, we have locations in both White Plains and the Mid-Hudson, and I would recommend that you go take a look at our website. I just wanted to show share my screen again on. All right, and let me escape out of this. Sorry, it's not letting me get out. All right, I have to stop sharing and get out. All right, let me close that. And then I can get over to the website. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, so I wanted to also share that our website is chock full of resources for clients. And if you know different business owners that you're working with that need some additional resources, please send them to our website. We have a bunch of different things here, but this right here is our small business resources page. And what's great is we get down to local resources. We talk about the different counties, New York State resources, national resources, and then we get into some specific associations, accounting and legal, and intellectual property and manufacturing resources. So we have a lot of different things to be able to help you, any of the businesses that you might be working with. The other thing I wanted to talk to was the COVID loans. So we are actively working with businesses to help people get the funding they need to be here. And to also, which is great, our counselors can help you with looking at the financials, helping with loan packaging. Can you really afford to take on no more debt? Does that make sense? And we have a loan assistance form here that you would fill out, and then we will contact you and help you with all of that. And we have the different programs that are COVID related that are funding here. And then we also have general COVID resources that you can take advantage of. I apologize, my internet is slow. So any of the different resources, again, broken down, that you can take a look at the various resources. Some of these things, unfortunately, may have expired at this point, but you would have to take a look at those. And if you want to take advantage of any of our workshops, our events page, we have a ton of different things. And we also, you can see what our Spanish programming is that's coming up. And the last thing I want to share with everyone, if you go under webinars, under entrepreneur tab, you'll see here that we have a ton of pre-recorded things that you can go back and watch so that you can take advantage of all of those. So we really do have a large array of resources, and we have many different counselors that can work with you and help you. Again, counseling is free. Free for free. All right. Counseling. So please take advantage of it. We're here to help, and we're here no matter what stage of business. We can help you. And if we don't have the resources in-house, we will get you to the people you need to speak to, or the resources you need to move forward, regardless of where you are in your business. And I love brainstorming. I love being able to think about how can we do things differently. I had my own consulting business for 11 years. I streamlined offices and specialized in data management. So been there, done that on the mistakes, and I know what they cost. So I love sharing how not to cost yourself money, right? With mistakes, and being able to help people grow. Even though we are a women's business center, we work with everyone. We do not discriminate, and we're here to help business owners in the region achieve their goals. One of the things we were, going to be talking about networking. One of the things that I had to learn, and then I pass on to my clients, is when you're a newer business or you're starting to build your network, you end up networking places you should not be, right? Where you end a lot of time, money, and you're like, why am I here? So what are some of the things I teach my clients about when you're considering where to network? Few things. You want to network where your potential customers are, right? You want to be going someplace that you're going to be able to meet, prospects that you can follow up with, that you can, potentially get an appointment, a conversation. Don't try to close the appointment at a networking event. Make the connection and then move on to a quality conversation. Also go where there might be referral partners. This is really valuable. And I'll tell you, in my position right now, most of my networking is that, right? Where I'll go and I'm trying to build relationships with people who are working with my target market, that I can develop a relationship and build a virtual sales team from those partners. And I built those as a business owner, and then was able to roll them into my hat at WEDC, the Women's Enterprise Development Center, and have been able to leverage those for help with promotion, for finding instructors, for helping me on social media, and then even sending me clients. So those relationships I built as a business owner, I have even been able to leverage in this capacity. You can't beat building those relationships, and they have to be nurtured. They have to be nurtured, and it can't just be email or just on social media. You have to nurture these over time. The other thing is where your competition's hanging out. Best way to stalk your competition is go to the same events, right? You can go see what they're doing, check out what they're talking about, what are they focusing on, and what kind of things are they doing next. Be cognizant though of when your competitors in a room and they get to speak before you, how can you differentiate yourself from that competitor? But don't put the competitor down. Oh, unlike blah, blah, blah. No. Talk about, this is how we help our clients. So these are the problems we solve for our clients. Don't get negative when comparing to a competitor. The other thing is, so if one of those three people are not there, you're not there to network, you're there to socialize. So don't fool yourself. I've gone to stuff just to socialize, to say hi to people, because I don't get to see them as frequently. I know that's why I'm there. And I know that I'm not going to come out with a bunch of connections. It's more just to say hi. And I know I don't get to see you guys as much, and I miss you. Okay. And I need to say hi and get my that girl on the back. All right. But I know that's why I'm going. The biggest thing I tell people too is don't be a card pusher. There is nothing more annoying than a card pusher, where you just sit there and go and do verbal diarrhea on the unsuspecting person you're talking to, where you're just shoving them a card. You don't ask them any questions. And you're just like, I do blah, 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 and you're all over them. right? You're just like throwing up your business on them. All right. So I always tell people, when you start networking, the best thing to do is to ask questions. Ask them how they help their customers. Ask them why they do it. Who do they, who do they find right now that they're working with? What's a good referral for them? Why are they there that night? Get as much information out of the person as possible quickly, very targeted questions, so that you can then shape your answers based on that. And you can figure out pretty quickly, is there synergy? Is there a conversation to be had? Now, we all know we're there for networking. You do not have to feel obliged to then have a long conversation with this person if there's not a connection on some level that you're able to help each other. You sit there, tell them a little bit about what you do. And I always love the, you know what, thanks so much, great talking to you. Let's go work the room. And they're like, yeah, let's go work the room. Right. So, so it works out well. If you do end up having a connection there, then I would say set up a time or a next step to talk to them outside of the networking event. I'm 52. I don't remember anything if I don't write it down or it's not in my calendar. So my trick, because I'm not going to remember tomorrow who this person was. I remember faces, names atrocious. Okay. I can tell you somebody's business. Don't ask me what their name is. All right. So what I do is when I get a business card, I always have a pen in my pocket and I write on the back of it, what was the topic that I was talking to them about and my next step, email, call, whatever. I put that away. And then what I do the next day or that night, depending upon when I get back, is I'll take that stack of cards, put them into my database, but I know what I'm emailing them or talking to them about, and I know what I told them I'm going to do. The other thing is do it within 24 hours. You look bad if you don't do it within 24 hours. Somebody gives you a referral, make sure you follow up within 24 hours and then let the person know that gave you the referral what happened. All right. Also, don't try to meet as many people in the room as you can possibly meet. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. You want to make quality connections that you can actually follow up with. If you're a card pusher, I can guarantee you most of your cards end up in the trash, right? So if you just say, I want to meet, and that's the other thing, have a goal for a networking event. And if you can see who's registered ahead of time, fantastic, because you can go, I want to meet this person. And a cold call is not going to get me in front of them. But if they're going to the same networking event as you, and you know that, you can look up and do your research ahead of time and then introduce yourself and talk to them and get a feel and then actually be able to start that conversation that you wouldn't be able to do as a cold call, right? Networking is a great opportunity. Another way to be able to take it beyond just, oh yeah, well, you know what? Well, I'll follow up tomorrow. Oh, and I'll also connect with you on LinkedIn, right? So that you can see who they're connected to. LinkedIn's great for B2B and for seeing, getting introductions. But, again, it's really about building relationships. People are not into just push me a card, verbal diarrhea. Ask a lot of questions when you first start talking to somebody, see where the connections are, see how you can respond to bring value to the conversation. And then what are your next steps? So your next steps, you're going to follow up with the person and then make sure you have a way to remember what you said, right? And I'm moving because my parrot has had it with me. I'm going to move, guys, with me doing stuff, and it's going to start chewing on my keyboard. So, and he hatched in the end of June. So he's a baby and he doesn't behave too good sometimes. Okay, let me do, computer stop. I changed my Alexa to computer like Star Trek. Okay, all right, you can actually see me. All right, so what I would say is you want to make sure that I'm going to get rid of my virtual background because it's going to keep going in and out. Whoop, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, let me get rid of this. I hope you don't mind seeing my chair. Okay, all right, I'm back on. Okay, so what I would recommend is that you really have a goal for what you're going to that networking event for. Have an intention in mind, because if you don't, you're just going to wander around and then probably not walk out with really any quality leads. All right. So these are things that you want to think about. You need to do networking strategically. You have to be strategic about your networking. And chambers are great because depending on what you're looking for and who you're looking to meet, they usually have different types of events that will attract different target markets or different segments of target markets. So certain events might be really good to meet these type of people or this level of people, and these type of events could be better to meet other types of people. Like in my organization, our development person, I tell her, you should be going to the breakfasts, right? And the networking's done before the breakfast. And then, for the chambers, and then I go to the actual networking events because that's where I'm going to get my instructors and I'm going to get my potential clients. So it's really, thinking about, and if you have employees and you want to go to networking events, think about divide and conquer. Where should you be going and where should the employees be going to help with extending your reach in a networking event? So that's pretty much it. Again, my name's Cynthia Marsh-Croll. Whichever office is closest to you, I welcome you, working with us. Right now everything's remote, so it doesn't matter, right? All our programs are remote, so it really doesn't matter. I take a look at our events page, see what's coming up, take a look at our resources. And if you need any help with COVID related funding, please reach out. We would love to help you. So thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Does anyone have any questions for Cynthia?
I do.
Yes, Betsy.
My question is, do you work at all with nonprofits?
I do, but not a lot because our funders don't let us count that. But I do work with nonprofits because also when I was a consultant, that was my target market when I was a consultant, was nonprofits.
Oh,
So I do work with nonprofits. I enjoy working with with nonprofits as a counselor, and it's just pretty cool that I ended up working for one as well. But yes, we do, but that's okay. I'm all right with not counting it. But I don't do a ton because I get, our funders are like, oh, you got to work with businesses. Well, yeah, right. Sales. Oh.
So this sounds like your services are free for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And, what is your funding source?
So one of our funding sources is the SBA. The other one is Empire State Development. They're funding. We get funded through like local IDAs, county IDAs, foundations. So we have donors. So we have a wide array of funding, depending upon what programming we're doing. We'll get specialized programming working with like my location. I work with the accelerator in Orange County, and they're fashion and manufacturing heavy. And that was one of my loves, is manufacturing. So I love working with them and their clients. I'm located in Think Dutchess, their actual office, and in part of their resource pool. And, and so we get funded from multiple, sources.
Well, that sounds great. I'm glad they got you into the fold.
Well, thank you. I love what I do. I can't believe in July I'm going to be with WEDC 6 years already. It's like, where did it go? But we just got awarded as my location as the second women's business center. So I'm really looking at how can I expand my programming now that I have some more money, right? And right, it's all about money. It's always about money, right? So how can I expand what we offer? So I'm excited about that as well.
Well, fantastic. And if someone was to contact you, and you said you're open, I just want you to expand, if you don't mind, you're open to serving anyone. So
yes.
If I am a gentleman who owns a small business and I need some help, so women's is not necessarily women.
What it is our focus, our programming and our focus is women. Okay. But that does not mean that if I have somebody like in our Spanish program, we get quite a few men, right, that come in and look for assistance. In the English program, we primarily get women, but I do have men, and I sit there and I joke when we have a man in the 60-hour program. I said, you're getting a peek behind the curtain, take notes, right? Because you're going to get to learn stuff that you're not going to find out otherwise. So I'm like, take notes, you can use all of this, right? You got a mom, right? You know, if you got any sisters, and you know, if you have a wife or a girlfriend or something, you could definitely, this is intel, you know, so, you know, I said, you're going to get to peer into the mind of a woman, you'll have a better understanding.
Good point. Good point. Well, thank you again, Cynthia. I really appreciate your sharing your insight and letting us know about the what you do over at WEDC. It's really important for us to know about that and know that such resources are at our fingertips. So
thank you. And I really appreciate the opportunity to share. I love doing these things. I love, you know, going to the networking events and helping clients and getting to meet new businesses. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, let's network. Candace, will you be able to put us into breakout rooms?
Sure.
All right. So we're going to do we'll do a couple breakout rooms. We have about 25 minutes or so. So we'll do maybe two separate breakouts, and hopefully.
All right, let's hope this works.
Good luck. So everyone just introduce yourself and join the room now. And then when it's time to leave the room, we'll get another prompt.